When I decided to move abroad, I was excited, like really excited. I wanted to see the world, explore new places, meet people, and experience life in a completely different way. I imagined beautiful beaches, weekend getaways, new culture, and all the personal growth I would gain from being out of my comfort zone. What I didn't expect were how hard is moving back home. See, we often talk about the challenges of moving abroad, like culture shock, language barriers, loneliness, but no one ever talks about the struggle of moving back home. After all, it's home, right? The place you grew up in, the language, the food, the people, the streets, they're all familiar. So, how can it be hard? Because reverse culture shock is real, but it's rarely talked about. I didn't know it existed until I felt it. When we move back, we expect joy, connection, familiar things and feelings. But once the excitement of coming back home wears off, we start to feel really out of place. Like we are in the wrong place. Like we don't quite fit. It feels like coming back to a place I used to know, but somehow no longer belonged to. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. Even hearing your own language sounds strange sometimes. The pace, the mindset, the routines, everything feels off. It was amazing to be back, to see family, to enjoy all the things I've missed, but it was also weird, strange, and emotionally hard. Living abroad changed us. We're not the same people we were when we left. It shaped how we think, how we live, how we see the world. We formed new habits, new lifestyle, new mindset. And even though home looked the same, it wasn't. Because life back home also moved on without us. And the hardest part, we often have no one to talk about it. Only people who have lived abroad, moved back home, and felt this can truly understand. Friends and family might try, but they can't really get it. Not because they don't care, but because they have not experienced it. So how could they? For them, we were just away for a few years. They saw our photos, heard some stories, saw the videos, but they weren't there for the quiet moments, the real growth, the deep lessons, the hard challenges. So when we come back and want to talk about it, how much it meant to us, what we learned, the moments that changed us, we often feel like no one's really asking or listening. And it's not their fault, but it's lonely. The friendships can start to feel different. Because while we were growing and changing in one direction, they were growing in another. And that means we sometimes drift apart. The conversations just don't feel the same anymore. We don't always have the same interests or perspectives anymore, and that's okay. But it still hurts. And because of that, we have to let go of old friendships to make space for new ones. The people who we could connect now for who we are now. And you have the same kind of interest and the connection. When we move back home, we leave everything behind. Our routines, our lifestyle, our work, our favorite cafes, even our favorite grocery store. Small things like the view from our window or the street we walked every day. They meant a lot to us. And losing it all at once can be a lot. We can feel lost. Because it means that we lose a version of ourselves we built abroad. The version that figured things out, made mistakes, learned to be independent, and felt proud of that growth. That version had to be left behind in some ways, and we grieved that. We grieved the life, the city, the feeling of freedom we had. And there's a piece of our heart that stays there. No matter how much time passes, we'll always miss it. When we move abroad, we kind of find a freedom. We are away from everything familiar where no one knows us. It gives us courage and freedom to dream. There are no opinions holding us back, no one giving us advice, no one persuading us. It's just us, and we become so independent. We learn to be alone and love our own company. We learn to do everything on our own. In some ways, it feels like we're losing that feeling of freedom when we return. We return to a place where so many people know us, where we know others, and we don't feel as free anymore. It's not just us anymore. It's our family, old friends, old acquaintances. And suddenly we go from doing everything for ourselves and on our own to having other opinions, wishes, so many invitations, celebrations, and commitments to be part of. And that can be really overwhelming. We grieve the life we leave behind, but we are also grateful that we get to enjoy life back home. But we still start to feel guilt for even feeling like this. How can we be sad? How can we feel these emotions? How can we be confused or this loss of purpose? We feel guilty for not being happy. We feel guilty for not being abroad because we feel like we're missing out on life, for not taking part in every occasion, for not settling in quickly enough. And I wish someone would have told me that. It's okay to feel like this. But no one did when I first moved back home. So I am here to tell you this. You've lived two completely different lives. It takes time. And you're not alone and you're not feeling wrong in any way. I've moved back home twice and both times felt completely different. The first time was really hard, so I decided to move back abroad again. The second time I was more prepared and that has made all the difference. And I want to share what can help you too. It's important to talk to someone or write down your feelings. Don't keep it in and don't keep it just to yourself. Reach out to your friends abroad who can relate to what you're going through. Talk to a therapist who can help you with coping strategies. Or keep a journal to write down all your emotions and challenges. Let yourself feel everything instead of trying to rush into feeling normal again. And most importantly, give yourself time. It's okay if it takes weeks, months, or years to feel settled. You don't need to have it all figured out right away. You're adjusting, you're finding your place again, and that takes time. Remember, just because you moved back doesn't mean you have to become your old self again. You can bring the new version of you into this life. Mix what you learned abroad with your home life. Build routines that feel right for you now. Let go of things that no longer fit and explore new ones that do, just in a different environment. Let go of the pressure that you have to have it all figured out right away, or that you have to fit in immediately. You're not behind and you're not doing it wrong. Just take your time, as much time as you need. And most importantly, always remember your reasons. Why did you return home? Maybe it was to be closer to family. Maybe you just needed a break from your abroad life. And maybe something inside you just told you it was time to go back home. Whatever your reason was, hold on to that. Because on the hard days, when you feel lost, disconnected, and doubt your decision, it's easy to forget. But those reasons matter. You made this decision with the knowledge and the heart you had at the time. So come back to it whenever you need it. So yeah, moving back home is hard. But remember that you once started over in a completely new country. So I know you got this.